so much for coming out, even though it's a rainy day. The later the day got, the less rain we had, and I thought that was a really good sign, cosmically and logistically. I would like to welcome you to the 2009-2010 Authors at Upstate Literary Series. I am Lisa Johnson, Director of Women's and Gender Studies at Upstate. And I had the pleasurable opportunity this summer to work with Tom McConnell and Susan Hodge, who run the program Authors at Upstate, to find an intersection between this campus-wide series and speakers that I hoped to sponsor. And I'm so pleased to be co-hosting Eli Shipley as one of our Authors at Upstate. And to set the stage a little bit for this reading of poems from his prize-winning and critically acclaimed first book, Boy with Flowers. After the reading, we will have a brief question and answer period, and then we will enjoy tea and cookies and buy books and get them signed. Even better, there will be a drawing for several free copies of Boy with Flowers. So if you don't have it and would like to have it and get it signed, make sure to sign the very fancy technological innovation I'll be sending around, perhaps starting it now. So if you already have a copy, you may not want to sign, but if you're interested in having a copy, please do sign up for the drawing. We have several to give away. Skip lines in between so that we can scissor them up and put your name in a hat or something like that. I would also like to mention, in connection to the ongoing Authors at Upstate series, that we will be hosting novelist Dot Jackson on Thursday, November 12th, also at 4 p.m., also here in the same space. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there are some handouts on this table and on the food table and on the front desk with the rest of the year's calendar to pick up.
Thank you so much. So I hope you'll indulge me for a minute while I morph into teacher mode, because I do want to create a kind of frame for the reading for everyone, but most especially for my students who are here, who are reading this book, and also those who are reading connected books but don't have this one as part of their class. So I'm doing a little bit of pedagogical work here, and maybe everyone will benefit. I selected Boy with Flowers as one of the required texts in my fall semester literature course, and my students and I in that course are reading and discussing Boy with Flowers in class starting tomorrow. It follows on the heels of a beautiful novel by James Baldwin called Giovanni's Room. The fact that we're reading these two books back to back is a total coincidence. The class departed from a chronological literary history so that we could read Shipley's book the same week that he would be here on campus. But the coincidence has been a very happy and fortunate one for me as a teacher, because the theme of an identity in flux and the confrontation with grief that comes with change, along with the quest to escape a too narrow script or cultural space assigned to one's life, has created an unexpectedly seamless bridge across differences of race, literary generation, historical period, and genre. And I found out just on a side note that it's one of Eli Shipley's favorite books, so that's neat too. Maybe that explains the connection. By engaging with these same themes, Eli Shipley continues a cultural conversation with a rich literary history from a fresh contemporary perspective. It is a conversation that resonates strongly with many of my students, as it conveys a longing for community and also a recognition of the challenges of community. and it records an internal meditation that yearns for self-understanding, but also aspires to let go of the impossible need for a clear, transparent, unchanging identity. Each poem in Boy with Flowers invites the reader into the fragmented space of these contradictions, into a room, if you will, that represents the complicated realm of desire and its sometimes violent repercussions, to borrow a phrase applied to Shipley's poems by another contemporary experimental poet, D.A. Powell. Of the many critics who have praised Shipley's collection, it is Paisley Rachdahl, an essayist and poet who teaches at the University of Utah, who best captures what I love about the lyricism of Shipley's poems. And this is all from Paisley Rachdahl. The poems in Boy with Flowers are gorgeous, taut, and often quietly, almost dreamily menacing. Shipley's poems are fascinated by appearance and mirroring, understanding the ways in which how someone sees or is seen might change his self-identification. In this world, identity must necessarily be multifaceted and ever mutating as a form of survival. With so much shape-shifting at play, it is no wonder these poems are filled with images of dreams, of bruises, of darkening twilight, places that themselves exist between states of reality and fantasy, between safety and disaster. Shipley's wonderful poems illuminate the innate betweenness in which all of us exist. End quote. Without further delay, then, I give you the bruises, the survival, the mirrors. I give you the dreams, the shape-shifting, and the innate in-betweenness of all of us, and of Eli Shipley. Please join me in welcoming him to USC Upstate.
I always get nervous about these podiums because it's so short. I should stand on the chair back here. Thank you for such a lovely introduction, Lisa. It's always nerve-wracking when the introduction is so good and you don't know if the poems are going to match up to the intro, so thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks also for coming out. I'm so impressed by this audience. It's nice and large, and it is kind of a dreary day. So, and thank you also to, I want to forget your name, Susan and Tom, for organizing this, and yeah, just thanks to Upstate. I thought that it might be appropriate today to dedicate my reading to the memory and maybe even the actual